You're listening to the Body Contouring Academy's Proven Profits podcast, your source for non-invasive body contouring. Here we reveal the blueprint to generate more revenue and realize the profits you want. Stay tuned to hear insightful interviews from industry experts and successful business owners on what strategies they use to grow their body contouring practice. Hi everyone, thanks for tuning in. Kay Overly and Shannon Schimmel here today with Jessie S. Laura of Sculpsure Body Shaping Beauty Lounge in San Antonio, Texas. Jessie has the most interesting story. A marketing expert with a successful marketing business, and he started focusing on aesthetic businesses, learned about it, and when the opportunity arose, he purchased his own medical spa. And we're going to learn today how he has used Sculpsure to build his practice from 1 to 2 and now considering his third Sculpsure device. Let's learn his secrets.
Today we're joined by Jessie S. Laura, co-owner of Sculpsure Body Shaping Beauty Lounge. Well, first, Jessie, thank you so much for taking time out from your busy practice to talk with us. As part of our series of the Body Contouring Expert interviews, we really appreciate it. And we know the information that you're going to provide is going to be so much help to your aesthetic provider peers. So I think we all believe in the power of collaboration. So, Jessie, tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got into the industry.
Sounds good. Well, thank you guys for having me on board. I'm excited to be here to discuss everything with you. I have always had a passion for the aesthetics industry just because growing up I've had problems with just acne breakouts, and I've been referred to by a dermatologist to the different aesthetic spas that did stuff like microneedling or facials or laser scar removal treatments, radio frequency microneedling to my face. And so my journey began there, and got involved in other services that med spas offered as well, with kind of muscle toning or getting rid of some stubborn fat. And then during that time, I had owned a digital marketing agency as well, and started doing some marketing online for medical spas. And since I already had kind of a personal passion for it, it was just really exciting for me to come in and assist some businesses, and got really good at it. Helped out on some consult sides as far as scripts and rebuttals, and helped out on some appointment setting scripts and rebuttals, and maybe gave some ideas on monthly specials or particular incentives and offers. And then an opportunity arose for me to purchase a medical spa by one of my clients. And I felt like I would be a great fit for it, just because of how well I knew the brand online and the services that were provided. And so we went ahead and purchased the business May of 2020, and opened our doors June 1st of 2020 in the middle of a pandemic, COVID.
Wow.
And we've been doing great.
That's great. Well, tell us what's the name of the business and where you're located.
So we're Sculpsure here in San Antonio, Texas.
Very good. Yeah, so what body treatments are you currently doing at Sculpsure, Jessie?
We do fat reduction, permanent fat reduction, we use a device called Sculpsure. We do muscle toning, and we use a device called M-Sculpt. We do radio frequency microneedling, and we use a device called Intracell. We use vacuum therapy. We use a service that we call press away therapy. We use cellulite. We have a device called the Zimmer machine, and that helps reduce cellulite.
Very good. Well, I saw on your website that you also offer the infrared sauna. I'm sure that you use that a lot with your body shaping too.
Oh yeah, infrared sauna is just overall in general great for health and detoxation, but we do like to use it and include it in our pre and post treatments.
Yeah,
to help with.
Yeah, go ahead, Jesse. I'm sorry.
Just to help with the overall detoxing and getting the body to respond to what the treatments are doing.
Well, that's quite a bit of body treatments that you do. What device are you going to be talking with us today?
Sculpture.
Oh, great.
Sculpture.
So how did you give us a little background, like how you chose it and what steps before you made your decision process?
Well, there was a need for a fat reduction device because before the device was purchased into practice, there was a weight loss program, a medical weight loss program. And so we were using devices to kind of minimize fat cells like radio frequency by itself or combining radio frequency and vacuum therapy together. And so I know the practice's journey was finding a device to really provide a stronger, longer-term result and something that's a little bit more controlled. And so I know the practice had interviewed other vendors that provide permanent fat reduction device, and I can name one. They use freezing, they use cold, and we tested out devices that use cold and freezing, and we decided that with demoing the device and kind of doing our own due diligence that really wasn't the device that we found to be very consistent. So we kept looking, and the practice eventually found a company by the name of Sculpsure that provided a warm sculpting device using heat. And this device, during our due diligence and during our demoing device amongst ourselves and our team, we just found that this delivered a better results, and it had multiple advantages than the other devices that we demoed. And so since then we've been using it, and it's really worked out great for our patients. They've been able to receive really good reduction, and we were doing so well with one device that we decided to purchase an additional device, Sculpture device.
Great.
And we have now upgraded one of our devices to also include the submental treatment as well to treat double chin, and we found that has been awesome.
Oh, that's fantastic. That's great news. Well, normally we'll be asking providers how you went about implementing it into your practice, but we know that you bought this in business and it was already up and running. So we're always interested in learning about training and developing protocols and marketing as far as promoting it. And we ask about implementation of that, but can you tell us a little bit about ongoing or when you hire new people?
Sure. When we hire somebody new, we immediately call the vendor to come out and schedule a time so that they can have hands-on training with our new employee, but also give our existing staff that have been doing the treatments for a while some continuing education to get some additional tips or tricks or get some clarity on new things that arise post-treatment sometimes. But we do have a pretty strict protocol where, there's training videos. Once the training videos are complete, there is a certification course. There's the hands-on training by the vendor. Then we do a lot of observation training of treatments in multiple different body areas, just so that our staff, the new onboarding one, can view what the setup is. Also, to backtrack, do a lot of before and after photo training and positioning. So we do, to backtrack and recap, we do photo before and after training. We do shadowing on the before and after pre-treatment. We have a lot of consent forms that we have created and have inherited from the manufacturer of the device. And we go through and kind of talk to the patient line for line about what everything is and what they're giving us consent to treat them for. And we go into treatment, but training is a really big thing here, and practice makes perfect. So we really focus on a body part at a time. With Sculpture, you have applicators. So there's 4 per device, and even though we have 2, we typically will start somebody new on using only treatments with 4 applicators, and then we graduate them up to using both devices at the same time.
Okay. So to clarify, the standard treatment protocol, you're doing a minimum of 4 applicators at one time, so you wouldn't go in and say, okay, you're just going to do 1 applicator, correct?
Correct.
Okay, great. And did the manufacturer provide you with that, or did you develop your own techniques and expand on it?
We developed our own techniques and expanded on what they have recommended, but we've developed our own techniques to find a better fit for us and what we do.
Yeah, that's great. We've seen some of your before and after pictures, and they are amazing. So you must be doing something right, or everything. So what conditions do you treat with Sculpsure, and do you use it for any off-label treatments?
No, we just stubborn areas that people find hard to burn off, even if they are dieting and exercising. And just, we all have those stubborn areas, whether it's in the flank area, the lower abdomen, upper abdomen, inner thigh, outer thigh, double in the chin area.
Mm-hmm.
And
what would you say that treatment, the experience is, the patient's experience when you're talking about some of those particular areas? Are they, is it uncomfortable? Yeah. Do they enjoy it? Mm-hmm. Tolerable?
It's tolerable. Some say they enjoyed it. Some say it was a little tingy, but it's tolerable. Mm-hmm. Other body parts are a little sensitive than others, and everybody's different. So everyone's tolerance is higher or lower. But for the most part, the device does a great job at keeping it tolerable. It does have intervals of heat and cold. The cooling aspect is just to cool the skin. It has nothing to do with actually treating the stubborn fat cells, it allows the device and the patient to feel comfortable.
Right. And I imagine your team, that's one of the things that y'all talk about and train on is getting the patients who might be having more difficult time, getting them through the process with still a positive experience.
Correct. We do a lot of talk anesthesia.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
We do a lot of step-by-step educating, so that they're processing exactly what's going on within the treatment to make them feel more comfortable, as opposed to just letting them sit there and come up with these conclusions of what's going on. We feel that educating our patient during the treatment gives them expectations, of exactly what's happening, therefore mentally just kind of making everything better.
Yeah, I definitely can see that. Well, is there any downtime or anything special as far as post-treatment?
There's no downtime. We encourage our patients to go ahead and go about your life right after. Some people may feel a little tenderness the next day or for the next few days, but not everybody does. And the tenderness mainly feels like you've done some core exercises, you're a little sore from the gym, but nothing to prevent you from driving or going to the gym or doing anything different. And the most important things to do post-treatment with Sculpsure is to be hydrated, drink a lot of water on a daily basis, and massage the area that was treated. And massaging keeps the fat cells loose instead of becoming congested and harder to process out. So the massaging is very, very important. Up to the first 6 weeks, we'll bring our patients in at the 6-week mark to kind of touch and feel and make sure that everything is going in the right direction. And then from there, we may give some other expectations on what to do for massaging. But water and massaging is huge. And if somebody can do some exercise as well, that helps the body with processing out things through the lymphatic system too.
Do you offer or do you recommend a particular product for the massaging, home care products to use at home?
We actually do. We have a cupping device that we use that we provide for our patients, and if they choose to opt out of that product, then we also tell them that they can use their knuckles. A good time to massage is maybe in the shower. They can use a massage roller if they wanted to, but majority of our patients, I'd say a good 95% of them always purchase exactly what we offer to them right after. And then we've even have an educational information for them to go home and use it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So we have some gels to go along with that as well.
Okay. Very good. So as far as your patients, you clearly have a great system. What is the overall satisfaction rate of your patients? Do they recommend it to friends? They're so happy. Are they? I have to ask, the video testimonials, you have so many of them on your website. So tell us a little bit about that whole thing, about the satisfaction and referring and getting the video testimonials and reviews.
Mm-hmm. Our process is very specific to getting the video testimonial. So our process and our follow-ups with from actually even starting in the consult room all the way to the follow-up room, to the last follow-up appointment, and then getting into a video testimonial is our processes we ask a lot of questions in our follow-up so that we can continue to educate the patient on what they need to do to achieve the the end reduction of what the goal was. And so since we ask a lot of questions and provide a lot of direction and offer things and assistance in the post-care, we have a high satisfaction rate, and people are very pleased. And we are also very upfront, and we give very clear expectations. And we get quite a bit of good word of mouth referrals. We get quite a bit of multiple treatments afterwards. People want to come and treat again. We get people that come and treat once a year. It's pretty amazing. I mean, we have great reviews, but I would say the success is basically the build up to the ending of their final appointment, where our processes just gives very clear directions and expectations, and then the assistance that we provide.
Yeah, that makes total sense. Now, this is all great, but let's just talk about, did you ever have any struggles? I mean, most of us do, no matter how successful we are. Did you have any, and if so, what were they, and what steps did you take to overcome them?
Tackling a issue right away and coming up with a process or a protocol immediately after we've learned something. Not that we've ever did anything wrong or the patient ever did anything wrong, but this is medical treatments, and there's a lot that you continue to learn. And when something does arise, our strategy has always been to document it, have everybody trained about what occurred, positive and negative, and expectations. So when things arise, it's just our reaction is immediate solution. And then immediate, everybody understands the solution, and it's just implemented into our protocols or our consent forms, our information forms, so that those things continue to stay minimized. And we do a really, really great job at it. And just when you think that you solve everything, another thing pops up because it's evolving.
I mean, you just have, it's a whole learning process, and your whole team learns from it and keeps going, and that education continues for life, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah. And, what we found to be successful is just really getting on top of it right away and getting everybody on the same page so we already have a solution for, for if it happens with anyone else. And these, again, this can be a positive thing. This could be just something that just needs to be tweaked in the process.
Do you have a specific example maybe you can throw out for our listeners?
Off the top of my head, let me see what I can come up with.
I don't mean to put you on the spot. We can pass that if you can't think of anything. But I tell you, keep hearing you talk about our systems and processes for everything, and you're singing our song when you talk about that. We do believe that is a definite secret to success.
Well, sometimes, like a recent one is well, this isn't too recent, but people sometimes want to opt out of their before and after photos.
Okay, yeah, good example.
So we have a form that says, hey, we understand that you want to opt out of your photos, and we're okay with that. However, these are the challenges that we will have and you to see how effective the results were. Photos are a big process a big part of the process. And so we list things in that form, that in the document that we have them signing, just kind of listing off some of the cons of not taking photos. And as long as they're on the same page is with us, and there's nothing that we can do about it, but we do have a form created for that.
That's a great example.
You know, when we were in practice, most of the patients who did want to opt out were patients who had treatments before, and they would tell us, oh, you know, I don't need the photos. I know it works, so I just don't need them. Do you have many first-timers wanting to opt out of photos?
Not too many, again, because our process is so great at building expectations, like in the consult, where it's like, we're going to take before and after photos. Are you okay with that? Yes. You know, if they say no, then it's like, well, these are the reasons why. So we tackle a lot of things in the consult. That way it makes it easier for the treatment specialist to go ahead and do everything. And we kind of emphasize on some concerns that could be a concern in the immediate pre-treatment before an actual treatment, so that everything is just easier. Mm-hmm. But you know, so again, it's just education in the consult, education during the treatment, education during follow-ups, and we tend to find the more you educate somebody, the more acceptance they are with the process, because they understand it.
Yeah, that's right. Well, we've seen you educate in your marketing too. We've seen tons of education on your website. So, you know, obviously it's working.
Yeah, and that's how it starts. I mean, that's even taking it even back further. But marketing is going to help solve some expectations when somebody decides to come in for a consultation. So the way that you market, the way that you push your content out there will give somebody a good idea of what to already expect and what's probably going to be expected in a conversation, in a consult, and during treatment and post-treatment, and when somebody wants to continue to do more treatments. So we try to cover all aspects and educate with our content as much as possible, and that's a revolving thing too. It never stops.
So, Jesse, now you mentioned at the beginning of the show that you have a digital marketing company. So I'm assuming you create your own marketing. You don't use the marketing from the manufacturer?
Yeah, we don't use the marketing from the manufacturer. I use my own agency. You know, I've been a digital marketer for the past 17 years now. Started out in just only doing search engine optimization, and have graduated when Google AdWords came out. I started doing Google AdWords and Microsoft AdWords like Yahoo and Bing, and evolved into doing Facebook advertising and Instagram advertising and LinkedIn advertising. And so all these advertising platforms online, I've just been there to learn them, and been educated by other leaders in these industries, and my staff has educated me a lot on things, and so we have a good process.
Specifically for Sculptaway and Sculpsure, what types of marketing do you use for that?
We do search engine optimization, very heavy Facebook search engine optimization campaign. We do Google AdWords. We do Facebook advertising, Instagram advertising.
Well, it looks like
a few other secrets.
Well, I know your website is just stacked with information, and you have a number of lead magnets on your website as well. And we happen to know that your digital agency now is, I mean, it specializes in aesthetics businesses. What's the name of it?
ProMed Aesthetics Digital Marketing.
Okay, so ProMed, we'll put that in our write-up. We'll have that in the notes too, because I know that marketing is such a key to success for this industry, and you clearly know what to do. You're running both businesses. So.
Yeah, and since I've been able to really get underneath the hood in this business, in this industry, it's just really expanded my mind on how to be better as a digital marketing agency to generate leads for practices and services like this. And there's always so many things to do. I mean, I have a to-do list of things to do that I need to get to, but it's just so challenging. But there's just so many cool things that you can really do to generate leads and awareness for your practice online. The key is creating content.
Yeah. Well, I guess, I mean, all of us in the aesthetic business, we're always hungry to learn more about marketing, but we'll get back to your Sculpsure device. So, what about, like, how profitable is it? And tell us a little bit about your pricing structure and whether you use what the manufacturer recommended, or you've developed your own, or all the goods on pricing.
It's been a journey with pricing, and it continues to be one. As far as the device being profitable, it's a good profitable device. And pricing started out with manufacturer recommendations, and then of course doing our own due diligence and competitive market analysis. We found that everybody's pretty following the rules that the manufacturer recommends, but everybody's got their own in-house technique. We've tried pricing different ways, per area, just packaging, per applicator. Currently, right now, we're doing per applicator.
Mm-hmm.
So
patients say, "Oh, well, could I do 3 instead of 4 when they're looking at pricing, or when you do it per applicator?"
Yeah, when we do it per applicator, typically nobody's really ever underneath 4. It's just because there's 2 sides to almost every body part that somebody wants to treat, except for the abdomen. We've never really come across somebody just needing 1 applicator or 2 applicators at only one time for one treatment. And if somebody did, we would just say, no, that's not going to work out. I mean, we don't want to undertreat an area. Mm-hmm. So we do have a standard that it is 4 or more. So you could have 2 on each side of the flank, but not everybody's 2. I mean, some people are 3, or some people are 4. On one side.
Right.
So, yeah.
It all goes back to the education that you were talking. Yeah.
Correct. Yeah, it goes back to the educating over the appointment form, so that they over the appointment conversation before the consult, so that they're coming into the door with the expectation.
Mm-hmm. So what is your overall impression of Sculpsure? And you have mentioned you have 2 devices. So, would you buy it again?
Oh yeah. We definitely have a need for a 3rd device. That's kind of in the making now. But we love Sculpsure, and I believe fully, that there's not another better device on the market right now that destroys fat cells. That has some good consistency with it.
Mm-hmm.
So until somebody comes out with a better device, we'll stick with Sculpsure.
And so you would recommend the device to other practices, I'm assuming.
Yes.
I'd recommend it to anybody that's not around me.
In San Antonio. As long as you're in San Antonio.
Yeah. But there are some practices here in San Antonio that have the device, and we have a relationship with some of them, and all is great. All is great. As long as there's more positive speaking about the treatment and the device, that's what's great.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, I love your story, Jesse, on how you were interested in the industry and you actually learned about the medical spa business and the devices and the treatments and everything that could be done by working on marketing for other companies. And so you have a unique journey. And so now that you've been an owner for over a year, and I'm sure learned so much during that year, what words of advice or tips do you have for other practices or business owners about specifically Sculpsure and then in general?
I'll go with in general. In general, really have your processes and procedures down, your SOPs, standard operating procedures. That's really key. You gotta have everybody, all your staff, on the same page, knowing exactly what's going on, knowing exactly where to go, who to ask, who handles what. That is a really big thing. Company culture is what's going to make a practice successful and keep thriving. And with Sculpsure, just giving the right expectations. Letting somebody know what to expect for with pre-treatment, meaning this is the process we're going to do before and after photos, and these are the reasons why. And then, what to expect during the treatment, how the treatment feels, how long it takes, what they may go through during the treatment as far as adding applicator frames and snapping them in. And then, what happens during the process of how eliminating fat cells come out of their body. And then follow-ups and after post-treatment care. I would say just educating the patient about Sculpsure and the whole process, and build the right expectations for their customized goal.
Great. That's awesome.
Well, Jesse, is there anything that you'd like to share that we didn't talk about?
No.
We covered it all.
Well, we talked about a lot, right? And we did really talk about the most important things, which is, the device that we're very successful with and that we're very happy with, and how we, do some things with it. And marketing is the root to how everything works. Without any marketing, without any leads, it's kind of hard to control the business. I mean, because you have just from no shows. I mean, what do you do for no shows? Like how do you improve the no show rate? That's another one that we didn't get into, but I mean that's another important one. Monthly specials, bundling things together, staff, recruiting, incentives, stuff like that.
Well, I wish need to take more. You're going to go into that today, but you know what, Josie, we're going to have you back to talk about all of that, because I know I'm interested, and I know other business owners are very interested. So hopefully we'll be able to talk you into coming back to talk about all of that.
Yeah, thank you so much, Jessie, for your time and your willingness to share what's made your practice at Sculptaway so incredibly successful with Sculpsure. And if listeners want to learn more about your medical spa, Sculptaway, where can they find it?
They'll be able to find it in the description of this video. We'll go ahead and add a link to our website.
Wow.
Yes.
That'll direct you to it with all of our contact information.
And for your digital marketing as well, we'll add that too.
We'll add that, definitely.
Yeah, that'll be the easiest way. And I appreciate everything and having me on and choosing me. It's been great. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Jessie.
We thank you. We really enjoyed it.
If you enjoyed the show, please find us on iTunes and leave us a review. You can follow us on Instagram at bodycontouring.academy, and you can always find us on Facebook too. Please email us at info@bodycontouringacademy.com with any feedback, topic suggestions, or to offer to tell your body contouring success story. Thanks so much for listening. Have a great rest of your week, and as always, and until next time, beautiful wishes.